What old person things do you do? I watch the animals in my garden. Birds, squirrels, etc. I also break up their fights. No fighting in my garden. All I can imagine is like a 70-plus-year-old grandma whacking them with her cane and then giving them a life lesson. LMAO. Say oof when I stand up. Squint when I read. Get up to pee in the middle of the night. Shit for 20 minutes plus. If you had your phone it doesn't count. I complain all the time. Complain gang, rise up. Damn it man, do we have to? Listen here you little shit. You will rise and you will complain. Complain about back pain. If you come over I will 100% try to feed you like a grandma does. Sit down. I'm making chicken and dumplings. When I'm interacting with a friend face to face I put my phone away. Though these were just good manners. I always know the weather forecast. TV with subtitles. My hearing is fine, but I cannot understand half the stuff PPL are saying while watching TV. Going to see a movie at the theater is a waste of money lol IDK what's happening. But I'll say I put the captions on cause my kid is munching chips next to me and I miss stuff. Ask kids if my slang is out of date. Thanks for inviting me to hit your joint. Do you still call it joint? Quote. No, we call them cocks now. Lick the page before flipping. Sleeping 5 hours a night. That's the most old person thing I've read so far. Lick the asterisk page. Asterisk. Old person, scratch and sniff rebranded, lick and taste ink dust. I eat dinner at 4 to 4:30 p.m. most days. I'm not even 40 but I love me an early bird special. I still buy vinyl. I like the audio quality. I have some records from artists and bands like Pink Floyd, Jimi Hendrix, The Beatles, Stevie Wonder, Black Sabbath, Elton John, Chicago, Boney M., Glenn Miller, Roy Orbison and Eddie Grant. Even though I'm almost 22 years old, I like doing this thing. Not to be annoying but the plural of vinyl is just vinyl. I'm in my 20s and have been collecting since high school. Even though a majority of my listening is done through streaming, I really like having a physical version of my favorite music. The ritual of playing it and getting the big album art is awesome. They're also great decorations that I can rotate easily and often I have a shelf in my home office where I always have a couple records on display. Go to bed early. Yes, came here to say just this right before going to bed. I have a standing up noise I make after I've been sitting. Ooh ya fucker. I cook a lot and crochet. There's a word for that. Bliss. I'd be a disaster with crochet though. Whereas CX words and Sudoku ams for hours. Asterisk asterisk with fresh coffee. OBVS asterisk asterisk. Or cathartic. Yelling at those damn kids to get the hell off my lawn. Groan when I sit down. Get hippie. Say things like when I was younger, and I am getting old. Peer at the going-ons from my windows if anyone makes any kind of noise or commotion in the neighborhood. Refer to dinner as supper. I thought that was just a southern thing. My family has always used supper. Well, and dinner. Well, on Sundays we call lunch dinner. I don't know what's real anymore. Pay the bills by check. To hell with your new fandangled convenience fees. Talk to myself! Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Hey, sometimes we need expert advice. Well said. Complain about my knees. I did a couple multi-day hikes in recent years and I learned that my knees suck the hard way. I feel creaky and decrepit now, but I'm still planning on my next hike. Take cocaine for headaches. It's an old family remedy. I crochet, knit and cross-stitch. Sometimes with a cup of tea and a blanket on my lap. I'm 27. At least half of your username checks out. Knit, crochet, jigsaw puzzles, wear nightgowns, and I love Werther's original candy. Take an ibuprofen just in case. I never use an entire paper towel or a napkin just once. Who can afford to use an entire paper towel? I like to imagine Bill Gates ripping a paper towel in half because he doesn't need an entire one. I know Steve Ballmer would. Richie Rich? I keep Werther's hard candy in the house all the time. I like it. All my teenage and early 20s kids give me a hard time about it. Like I'm some 80-year-old guy. I'm 53. But they always take some. Complain. And I own a jukebox that's filled with 45 records from the 40s, 50s, 60s and some 70s. Oh, and go antiquing on a bunch of books of an eating circuspeanuts. At 51, most of them monsieur. Grown when getting up or sitting down. I also already have that loud dad sneeze, and sometimes I make some utterly ridiculous dad joke pun. Only grown-ups do that. Sit with a small cushion under my lower back while driving. Give me that lumbar support. Look out the window and glare at the loud party happening outside. Read books. Nap on weekends. Nothing hits like a good late morning, early afternoon nap. And waking up in time to watch an episode or two of whatever show you're binge watching, and then going to bed after a 4:30 p.m. dinner. Always wear some kind of hosiery with a skirt or dress. I often say in the old times, or back in my day. Back in my day we used slips of paper to exchange for goods and services instead of the still beaten hearts ripped from our foes. I routinely wake up at 3 in the morning, maybe 5 at the latest. No alarm, and even on days I don't work, I don't even have to leave until 7, but I just like my morning time to myself because that's when I'm most awake. I wish I was like this. What time do you go to bed? Usually sometime between 8 and 10-ish. Don't really pay much attention. Just whatever time I feel tired. I'm old. Everything I do is an old person thing. Happy Cake Day. Thank you. Benefit of aging. I think wearing a backwards hat is the stupidest look in the world. Any new trend is stupid when you're old. Pretty sure that's not a new trend. My knees crack randomly when I walk sometimes. My back is forever in pain. My hands shake sometimes. I have horrible eyesight, but that doesn't really count. I'm 18 bruh. Bitch about the Airbnb next door. Eat Werther's originals and get bothered when people are on my front lawn. Buy the cheater reading glasses so I can see small print. Fall asleep after dinner. Enjoy gardening, appreciate nature. Dinner at 5 p.m. Listen to music that actually sounds good and isn't some guy talking about toothbrushes in a sad voice. Link to the sad toothbrush song. Sounds like a banger tbh. Utter things like goodness gracious. Play golf, wear boat shoes and smoke cigars. I'm 24. I can't stay awake that long, haha, like only 10 hours or so. Plus I say oof when I stand up. 22 here. Compared to when I was 18 to 19, I can't do all-nighters like I used to. And if I have a lot to drink, I feel the effects more the next day. On the plus side, I've picked up healthier habits. I like to drive slow, take fiber supplements, fall asleep halfway through a movie if it starts past 9 p.m. monsieur. I'm 26. If I'm not getting ready for bed by 6:30, to be in bed by 7, to fall asleep by 8, no later than 8:30, so help me. My whole night is off and I will be groggy in the morning. My ideal day off is waking up early to go birdwatching, and I enjoy making recipes from cookbooks where lard is used to grease your cast iron pan and an ingredient in pie crust. I also collect vintage encyclopedias, illustrated field guides, art anthologies. Stop and admire perfectly manicured lawns. Thinking to myself, one day that'll be me. Use a physical ledger book. A surplus one I found at work while clearing out an old accounting storage room. For tracking my spending and debit, credit balances. I also track my expenditures on alcohol. I'm 30. It seems to help me be aware of how I'm spending or using money. And I can account for pending bills or charges more easily and reliably than just checking my bank account online. I do that, too, and use Mint. For me, it's just a good offline way to keep track of things. I have a huge one that's over 100 years old and over 3 feet wide. I use it and keep it up to date just because it's such an impressive leather-bound book. I'm 35 with rheumatoid arthritis, so I do a lot of old people stuff. The most extreme example is probably my complete lack of compunction when I need help with something in the world. I ask people to open gas caps, lift groceries into my car, open heavy doors, etc. I can't ever remember someone saying no or being a dick about it. I try to ask the oldest person I can find, but kids are always super helpful and never ask questions. Fellow raw sufferer here. I was diagnosed at 24, now 42, and feel like I've been an old woman ever since. I hobble a lot. I bend over to pick up something I dropped and think, that ground gets lower every year, and at 68, I believe it's true. I like that one. 62 here. I'm 68 and haven't touched the ground in 6 years. I bought one of those picker-upper things. Take napkins and clean plasticware home from restaurants. I love eating butterscotch candies and playing solitaire. Be in pain. You know when old people try to conserve everything? I get the last drop out of my toothpaste and ketchup. Sad. Turn shit the fuck down. We have bird feeders outside. Use a cane, walker, mobility scooter. I'm only 40. I'm 35. Asterisk grunt when getting up from anything. Asterisk get up at night to go pee. Asterisk discuss bowel movements and pee-related stuff with friends. Asterisk complain about youths. Drink tea. When I feel like a conversation's ending, I say, well, gotta be heading back now. Take care. Don't even have anywhere to go to. I just say it cause it sounds better and better with time. Complain about the quality of things. Things today don't last and need to be replaced too soon. Both my dude and I watch lots of Dateline. Complain about them youngsters. Wear polo shirts and slacks as daily wear. Leave a thank you reply to people's Amazon reviews. Read through this thread thinking about how lovely everything sounds. I have this thing where I breathe deeply before I answer a question. And then I speak with pauses without saying, and like. Whenever someone asks me a complicated question, I have adopted this mannerism from my old profs. TikTok rules. Oddly enough, there's an 87-year-old guy in the UK who is regularly active on TikTok. With the help of his granddaughter. Save all my money and act like I am broke. Tie my shoes to the side instead of the middle. Listen to nature sounds while going to bed. Make noises when I stand up. Listen to golden oldies on my record player. Sometimes I walk with a cane. And I have yelled at kids to get off my lawn. Complain about lower back pain, hair loss, eat dinner by 4 and in bed by 9 to 10. I'm 33. Take naps. I also love hard candy. I am 25 years old and I catch myself doing these. Back in my days when I was your age. Groan when getting up or bending down. Dropping onto the couch. Complain about kids nowadays. Watch the bird in my garden. Recalculating the total on euro into Deutsche Mark. Still fairly common here in Germany despite having the euro for 18 years now. Make a sound anytime I get up or move. Complain about my back constantly. I have scoliosis. Complain about kids playing outside in the street. Play records. Watch and feed the birds in my back garden and carry Werther's Originals in my bag. I'm 26 LMAO. When I leave my house I do the pocket pat thing like Peter Falk. Playing the part of Grandpa does when he leaves Kevin from the Wonder Years. Playing the part of the sick grandson in the awesome Rob Reiner flick The Princess Bride. I even do the same ook voice. Always have hard candy on me. Butterscotch candies are the bomb. Crossword puzzles and bird watching and feeding. Oh, lol, I get impatient with people. The shit they drag out, not interested in your fucking life. Story or how Papa saved the pharmacy or tell stories I know that are not true, or always can. Tell a story that tops yours. Everything. I'm old. Recently started giving teenagers lectures. Mostly about staying away from shitty friends and looking out for themselves and affirming that they're not weird, they're normal, but transitioning to adulthood in a difficult time. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.